Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Dialogue with the Dean. I'm Eric Barker, Dean of the College of Pharmacy at Purdue, and it's a pleasure to bring you some additional updates from our campus and some things that are going on our campus. So I just want to remind everyone, if you have questions about what we're talking about today, please feel free to leave a comment there in the comment box, and we'll get back to you when we can. So today, it's a pleasure to have with me our Assistant Dean for Engagement and Partnerships, Dr. Brian Shepler, who is also a clinical professor in the Department of Pharmacy Practice. And today we're going to learn more about industry fellowships. So, Brian, thanks for being with me.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Pleasure to be here.
thanks for all you do. First of all, for our students, in addition to the industry fellowship side of things, keeping the experiential education piece going forward is really, really important. So as we lead off, maybe share with everyone a little bit about what is an industry fellowship in pharmacy.
Sure. So, industrial fellowships are these postgraduate opportunities for students where they're at these different companies for usually about 2 years. They're not all 2 years, a few of them may only be a year, but most of them are 2 years. And most of those fellowships also have a relationship with another college or university. And so that can be anywhere from maybe 2 weeks to up to 6 months that they'll spend at the university as well. And so these are really great opportunities for students who know they want to do industry to get a little bit of experience and career preparation for whatever they're going to do as an industry pharmacist when they get out.
So many people think about careers in industry in sort of a traditional role in manufacturing, and that really isn't at all what these fellowships are about. So tell us what the student experience would be like for this type of fellowship.
Correct, right. And so just to back up a little bit, when here at Purdue, when we talk to our students, the first thing is really to just explain to them what industry is from like a 50,000 foot view. Because a lot of kids come here from high school, and when they think about pharmacy, it's more community pharmacy or hospital, and they don't necessarily think about industry as a viable career option, and it really is. So we try to work with the earlier students to just, kind of paint the landscape of what industry looks like. And then once they decide that's what they want to do, there's more to it after that, because there's all these different functional areas that you can do in industry, and so many different ladders and different career moves that you have. So trying to figure out, what functional area in industry is a good match for the student, what matches their skill sets, what are they passionate about, trying to figure that part out is a whole second piece. And so these fellowships offer all different types of areas into industry, and some of the most common ones that our students go into would be things like regulatory affairs or medical affairs or drug information. Medical information is another area. Even drug safety, sometimes called pharmacovigilance, where they look at a drug that's out in the population of hundreds of thousands of people and kind of seeing how it's operating and what are some of the safety precautions with that. There are opportunities for them to see manufacturing and research and development. There's probably less of those when we're talking fellowships. Some of our students really like the business side, and so there's a marketing or advertising promotion piece as well. And so students that have that kind of creative bug and like to kind of marry that business savvy with what they've done in pharmacy might be great matches for some of these marketing fellowships.
So maybe give the viewers some examples of the specific examples of some of the industry fellowships that our students have had the opportunity to be a part of.
Sure. So the viewers may not realize that Purdue has some specific fellowships where we're the university partner, right? And so Amy Sheehan on our faculty is somebody that is heavily involved with that. And so a couple of examples would be, we have fellows who might spend some time at the FDA, they might spend some time at Eli Lilly, and then they spend some time at Purdue. And those are usually in med safety or drug information. And so what the fellows usually do on these fellowships is they are working side by side with an industrial pharmacist. They're working on actual projects that the industry pharmacists are working on. They're getting some really great exposure to that. And they also get to interact with lots of other people at the company. So you may get to see some of the upper leadership as well. And it's good to get to know those people and build your network. And that's, I would say, Eric, really one of the main differences between doing a fellowship and going right into industry. Because if you take a direct to industry job, a lot of times you're expected to go right to work there, and you may not get to rub shoulders as much with some of the upper leadership. Still, that's a very valid option for students to do too. It's just a little different.
So how do companies or alumni become involved with your office to promote their fellowship opportunities to our students?
That's an excellent question. And so, again, for the viewers, we just hired a new person in experiential programs. It's Stephanie Arnett, and she's our director of student development and career development. And so she does a fantastic job of matching students up with all kinds of post-grad opportunities, and fellowships would be one of those. And so I would say anybody that's interested in getting their fellowship information in front of our students needs to just contact my office, in the experiential office, and it'll either be me or Dr. Arnett that can work with them. Usually that fires up in September. This past year we had a lot of students that were starting to do some fellowship interviews late October and into November. And so in September, we get a lot of information about webinars that these different companies are going to host. And that's really how they get in front of the students and let them know what their company's about, the different fellowships they have. And so I would encourage any of the viewers that if you're going to offer a fellowship and you're interested in having Purdue students look at that, just let us know and we can get that information out in front of the students. And again, the right time to do that is late August, September time period is when that really becomes heavy and we really start posting those.
In this format, I usually give the guest a chance to ask me a question. So,
sure.
Question for me.
Well, I just have to say, Eric, that you have been so supportive of what we're trying to do here with the industry program and helping our students see that if you want to do clinical practice, that's great. But if you want to do something in industry, there's a role for you there. And as you know, we have a fall fellowship workshop and we have the spring symposium. And I really appreciate how supportive you've been of that. And we have to bring in outside speakers for that. And you've always been very helpful in us, attracting those people and getting them set up. And so I really appreciate that. I also know that you get to talk to these people a lot, and you've been out visiting folks all over the country in different industrial programs. And I wonder if you could, from your perspective, where do you see industry going? Where do you see our Purdue students going in industry and how they matriculate into these fellowships?
Well, I think first it centers on our own mission and vision, and our vision that our role, our mission really is to prepare the next generation of leaders in pharmacy and the pharmaceutical sciences. And so we just know that our graduates desire to have an impact in their disciplines, their fields. Again, to your point, many of them will pursue clinical pharmacy, which is great. We need them there. But some smaller subset of them are going to find their niche in the profession in industry. And so I think for me, evolving our industry fellowships is a priority. And I think there's two ways we do that. First, it's exposing the students early and often to the opportunities that are there, and then expanding our own industry fellowships that we offer through our partnerships. And so first, finding things that we can do to help you in the role of the industry pharmacist organization, the courses that you offer, Dr. Arnett's role in exposing the students to what that array of opportunities looks like in industry. So let's open their eyes to what the possibilities are, and for some of them it's going to become the thing that turns them on professionally, and that's really important. And then secondly, what can we do to leverage our relationships as a college with industry, which we have great relationships with industry. We have a lot of alumni that are the leaders in those places, and we can leverage the fact that our students are desirable and our brand as Purdue is desirable to be associated with. And so I think if we can leverage the excellence that is associated with our program to expand our own fellowship program, it's the question that you and I just talked about, I think this week one day, of how we go to the next level in terms of this, right? How do we move up a level or two in terms of the number of fellowships that we are associated with as a college? We know Rutgers is on the East Coast, well-positioned, long-term relationships there with a lot of industry. They have a very robust, biggest program in the country, and they're going to continue to do that because of where they're at. We're different here in Indiana, but we still have great relationships, and we have the great brand of Purdue. So we'll continue.
And great alumni too.
Well, that's just it. You know, our alumni are so well placed, and again, our students are desirable, and they continue to do well. You know this. They continue to do so well in the interview process, and I think part of it also is what we can do to help prepare them, not only open their eyes in terms of exposing them, but helping them to be prepared for the interview process for the fellowship programs. All of that is programmatic important. Has programmatic importance in terms of how we want to get the students prepared to be successful. So
absolutely.
Well, Brian, thanks for being with me. Thank you all for watching. Again, if you have additional topics you'd like to hear us talk about, please send them in, post them. Until next month, hail Purdue and boiler up.